welcome. You're watching Don Bosco Media Network. This is Mona Lisa Rambai bringing to you the Salesian news across the globe. On 12th March, in the premises of the Embassy of Japan in the city of La Paz, several donation contracts were signed by the embassy towards various realities, including one that benefits from the Salesian initiative of the Don Bosco Center for Alternative Education, CEA El Prado. Present at the signing ceremony were the Second Secretary of the Embassy of Japan, Takeshi Sakurai, the Chief Counselor of the Chancellery, Takahiro Ogihara, members of the Non-Refundable Financial Cooperation Program for Assistance to Human Security Community Projects, APC of the Embassy, and the National Director of the Don Bosco Popular Schools, EPDB in Spanish, Father Luis Adolfo Torres Sanginas, together with several other municipal authorities who have benefited from donation projects. The official figures of the chain of explosions on March 7 in a military barracks in the most populated city and economic capital of Equatorial Guinea, Bata, report 107 dead and more than 600 injured, but there are still many people missing and unidentified under the rubble, explains Salesians of Bata. From the first moment, as happened with the pandemic, the affected population that lost everything went to Salesian Spanish Institute in Bata to receive help and attention. 2 weeks have passed and the Salesian Educational Center has welcomed more than 100 people into its structures, most of whom are women and minors. Another 200 people come every day for lunch or dinner, and another large group of 200 people are being helped in the neighborhoods where they have been relocated as displaced persons. A Caritas social canteen serves 200 people affected by the consequences of the pandemic on Wednesdays and Saturdays at the Salesian Spanish Institute in Bata, and another youth canteen is active on Sundays. Since 1993, March 22nd has been designated as World Water Day. This commemoration focuses our attention on the importance of water in our lives and raises awareness concerning the 2.2 billion people who live without access to safe water. Since 2015, an essential aspect of the observance is to encourage governments to work at achieving Sustainable Development Goal (SDG), water and sanitation for all by 2030. To reach this goal, all members of society need to take concrete actions to help preserve a precious resource of water and work to ensure the proper sanitation is possible throughout the world. And the Salesians do their best to reach it. This year's theme for World Water Day is Valuing Water. The observance is about water means to everyday people, its value in their lives, and their thoughts about how to better protect this vital resource. Because a comprehensive understanding of water's multidimensional importance and value is required if we are going to safeguard this essential resource for our own use and preserve it for future generations. Due to the biosecurity regulations still in force in Panama, which limit academic activities and attendance, the Don Bosco Technical Institute has opened the 2021 school year with a series of online events. From 1st to 5th March, the Salesian community with students and teachers through various sessions on the Zoom platform and on the Institute's social networks gave life to various activities in an atmosphere of joy and Salesianity. The Welcome Eucharist was presided over by Father Alex Figueroa, Director of the Institute, and concelebrated by some Salesians, and was animated by a group of representatives of last year's young graduates defined as Resilient Promotion 2021. Don Bosco used to say, "A Salesian house without music is like a body without a soul." This is why the Salesian schools of Thailand try to encourage students to practice their musical skills. The Don Bosco Vitaya School in Udon Thani in the northeast of the country encourages students to learn various types of music through learning in the classroom and in musical groups so that they can exercise their skills according to their interests. Father Thomas Smith Dengampan, the director of the school, initiated a special activity entitled Music as a Method of Learning, which took place in the Institute's meeting room. During the event, the students played both in an orchestra and in groups with ethnic, traditional and modern musical instruments, drums, percussion, animation, music, flag wavers. The event was an opportunity for the 3,000 students to love and appreciate music more. On 12 and 13 March, the first sessions of Salesian Youth Ministry on the theme Moved by Hope were held via video conference with the participation of various members of the Salesian family, headmasters, students, educators, teachers, animators, and young people of the SYM. About 120 connections were recorded, including some from groups from France, Morocco, Tunisia, Guadeloupe, Belgium, and Italy. Father Fabio Attard, former General Counsellor for Youth Ministry, currently coordinator of the ongoing formation project for Salesians and laity in Europe, invited the participants to recognize the temptations that may arise in the face of this pandemic: fear, inertia, closure, pessimism. By proposing a way to resist, it is not so much a question of doing as of being, and strengthening one's relationship with Jesus and the values of the gospel. Hope is above all an attitude of a heart full of the presence of Jesus, said Father Attard, exhorting us to be particularly attentive to listening to young people, to welcoming them as Don Bosco did, and to helping families in difficulty because of the pandemic. In 2020, Monsignor Francesco Panifilo, SDB, finished his duties as titular bishop of Rabaul and apostolic administrator of Bougainville, both located in Papua New Guinea. Before greeting the nation, he retraced his human, Salesian and Episcopal journey in the country in the good night to the Salesian community of Morris Bay. In 1984, the general chapter was held and the constitution and regulations were approved. Father Lazaro Revilla requested him to give the retreat of the conference. PNG was part of the Philippine province. In January 1985, he came to PNG to give the retreat to the conference here. It was his first visit to PNG. He became the provincial in 1987 and then would visit PNG twice a year. During his first visit as provincial in 1987, he had to negotiate with Archbishop Albert Budervort, MSc, to find a suitable place for the future presence of the Salesians in the Archdiocese of Rabaul. Originally, the place was supposed to be Vunacano, and Father Oscar Zamora already bulldozed all around the property assigned to them, but there was no water. So he told Archbishop Albert, "If there is no water, we cannot start a school." Later, they found water and gave them the land of Vunabosco. At the time, we already had the two presences of Araimiri and Don Bosco Gaputu. World Water Day, established by the United Nations in 1992, is celebrated on 22nd March. After the Angelus, Pope Francis recalled that, "For us believers, sister, water is not a commodity. It is a universal symbol and a source of life and health." Let us not forget, however, that too many people in the world do not have access to water. The United Nations estimates that 1 in 3 people live without drinking water, 4.2 billion people lack sanitation. By 2050, up to 5.7 billion people could live in areas where water is scarce for at least 1 month a year. By limiting global warming, water stress would be reduced by up to 50%. Water is life, and only by knowing its priceless value can we best protect this essential resource. At the end of yesterday's Angelus, Pope Francis recalled Remembrance and Commitment Day in the remembrance of the mafia victims and invited everyone to renew a commitment to the mafia. Mafias who, in the pandemic, are exploiting hardships, enriching themselves even through corruption. The Holy Father also recalled the commitment of his predecessors against the mafias. St. John Paul II denounced their culture of death, and Benedict XVI condemned them as roads of death. On the occasion of the Day of Remembrance and the Commitment in memory of the victims of the mafias, which was celebrated on March 21st, we report the response that the Salesian community of Latina is given on the ground and in the daily work, together with many other realities of the territory, to those in the Pontaine city who yearn for the evils of criminals, and even more so to those who manipulate those youthful conscience for bad interests. In recent days, in fact, the viewing of a video shot is a popular district of Latina, in which some young people with rap music and shock words have exalted the power of criminal groups, the money easily earned with illegal activities, the use of weapons and all other types of violence for the control of the territory, the contempt for repentant and infamous. On 20th March 2021, 24 Salesian co-operators of Holy Child Auxilium, Vasan Vihar, New Delhi, organized a social outreach program at Jajar for children work in brick kilns where Salesians are involved in working for them. The Holy Child Auxilium Vasan Vihar co-operators, with Victor Nazareth coordinator and the guidance of Sister Maria Patail, FMA delegate, collected funds and reached out with food for 200 children of the brick kilns of Jajar in Haryana on 20th March 2021. The Salesian community at Jajar, under the guidance of Father Joy Marang Takila and Father Joy Marang Tikala, are doing a magnificent job for the children of the workers in the brick kilns. My visit to the brick kilns and the sight of children being taught in the open fields with no roof over their heads moved me a lot, said Victor. He was impressed by the Salesians and the dedicated staff in providing education and help to the poor children. Reverend Father Gerald Neliotu Konam, SDB, passed away at 12:30 p.m. on 22nd March 2021 in Don Bosco, Wisdom Town, Red Hills, and a Requiem Mass will be at 6:30 p.m. on 22nd March 2021 in Jotek, Basin Bridge, Chennai, and the funeral Mass will be on 23rd March 2021 in Don Bosco, Wisdom Town, Red Hills, Chennai at 3 p.m. followed by burial. So viewers, that is all we have for you today. Until we meet again, thank you for watching.